I just like that type of fight. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Two of us just letting it go. Like I say, I move my head, go forward, move my head, and that brings on that type of fight. Like when you go forward, if he backs off, I'm still going to pursue, and if he comes forward, then I'm going to.
You're going to meet him in the middle, yeah.
So like
some man they wanna chat shit till I knock 'em out like I'm Jack
Levels
Shaw.
to the game.
Rolls hat, roll stack, my flow sharp like a hacksaw. Getting off.
Right, here we go. We're back. I think Gas was our last guest as well.
I think so, yeah. I don't think we've had anyone on since.
Doubling up.
We've just done solo episodes, haven't we?
Yeah, we have.
What's going on? You right?
yeah, sound boys.
Back then, Gats fighting next weekend. Let's jump back to, because obviously you've had, well, not your debut, but your debut with BKB since we last had you on. Couldn't have got any better, really.
Yeah, it was sound. The first opponent, in fact, the first boy who I was meant to fight, found out this morning he passed away. Just
Oh, never.
Yeah, it was on Facebook. This morning I seen it. Tommy Galbraith, his name was. He just passed away. I don't know how he died or whatever, but yeah, somebody put it on there. R.I.P. to him. He was the first guy who was meant to fight, and he pulled out for some reason, and then I got matched with that Paul Hills.
It was a bit of a tougher fight, really, wasn't it? Then because obviously when you came in, we sort of knew they were going to change the opponent. We couldn't say because we didn't know who he was going to fight, did we? But it ended up being on paper a tougher fight because what was he like 8-5, 8-4, something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
He had double figures.
Yeah, he had a good few. That was for the BKB anyway. He had a few of them for BKB. I don't know how many previous fights he had before that. Like.
Yeah,
but yeah, it was a bigger name for me to fight anyway. So it was a better position for me to be in. To be honest.
And also on paper, like you was going in there 1-0, he was going in there 10+ odd fights. Anyone who don't know you probably would have to say like, oh, they fucking chucked him in the deep end, but made pretty light work of it. As
yeah, like when I knew I was getting matched with him, obviously you have a little bit of a look, and then like, you know, he was tough, and like the people who he was fighting as well. Because like you always look at the opponent. Well, I do anyway. I would look at the opponent and imagine myself fighting him instead of looking at the person fighting him, like. Because everybody fights different with everybody anyway, and I was thinking like I wouldn't be doing what they are doing, like I mean, he wouldn't be reacting like he's reacting when he's fighting other people. But like, yeah, I was watching and I just thought I was comfortable. I'd be comfortable with any. Anyway, do you know what I mean? It's just at that time I was like, I'm glad in a way that they've given me somebody like him because it's a better position. If I win, then it gives me a bit of a boost. If I lost, yeah, he's a veteran of the sport. Do you know what I mean? But like, I was just happy to get that win over him, like just to get my foot a bit more in the door than I would have at the start.
You're that bit closer now, aren't you? To like maybe if you didn't fight him, you just fought a random name, you'd be like 5
no
fights away from the title,
that.
but now you're maybe 2 or 3, innit?
Yeah, if that guy out, the Tommy Galbraith, because he never had a BKB fight either. He had a few bare knuckle fights, but he never had a BKB one. Yeah. So me and him would have been our debut, like. Yeah. So if I had beat him, it would have just been a normal like win against somebody who else was just.
This whereas a win, you have just thrown you straight in the mix, really. Because he's like you said, he's fought some. Well, if he's had multiple fights, he's fought a lot of the big names, and he probably dispatched of him because. Did I see before fight? He hadn't been stopped before. He hadn't been stopped for so many fights, or
yeah, well, all of his wins are knockouts as well.
Yeah,
and he had the fastest knockout, did he? In the BKB,
fastest knockout, aye.
And then you went in and blast him out. How did what was obviously you've had like a lot of fighting experience there, but what was the day like the day of the fight? Was there any nerves? Did it feel different than normal? Was it relaxed?
It was a bit of a nightmare. Like. Not down to the fight or anything, it was just getting it, you know what I mean? To get in it was, because the weigh-ins was like 9 o'clock, I think it was, or 10 o'clock, I can't remember. But we was only like 20 minutes away from the venue, like. Me and Jack, and we went there. It only took 20 minutes to get there. And obviously getting back as well, and he said, oh, make sure you're back for 3 o'clock. And traffic's not an excuse and all this. And I thought, it wasn't that bad, man. It was only 20 minutes. So we left at 2 o'clock. Oh, but we got there fucking like 6 o'clock.
No.
Never.
Yeah, traffic was a fucking nightmare. But
What time were you on?
I was on, I think, because my missus and Jack's missus, we had to get out of the car, let him drive, because like we had to
go
walk.
on foot, like.
Yeah, and as they got there for about 7:15, and I think I was on about 20 to 8.
God.
She did hour,
Yeah,
hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah, so if I had stayed in the car anyway, like I would have got there 20 minutes before I was fighting, like so.
And what people obviously don't understand is before the fight, so you've got to obviously do like your medical, your rules meeting. They got to wrap your hands ready for the.
Yeah,
you know.
with the wraps, right? As we was walking in, they were like, they come in. You could hear everybody like trying to rush us in. They come in, and everybody is, like we said, all wrapped up, all dressed, everything. And like me and Jack's just walking up stinking dirty because like we just run through the Blackwall tunnels. And, like it's all hanging in there like because of all the fumes and that. I had all white on as well. So like, it was an absolute nightmare. But yeah, I could go into that another time or whatever. But like, it was a nightmare getting in there. But once we got there, like they had to wrap one hand and go out with the fighters, come back, wrap the other hand. Do you know what I mean? It was, but nerve-wise, once I was like ready to fight, like once my hands were wrapped, I had my stuff on, and like it wasn't long end before I fought. I was warming up, and when you warm up, sometimes you get that bit of a dump, don't you, like an energy dump and something. But I didn't. Like I felt really good, and I just felt fit, and I just I felt like I wanted to feel. You know what I mean? Sometimes you want to have that feeling of like feeling fit and you want to be confident. Sometimes you don't have that. Sometimes you're in that fight and just before it you're a bit like you feel it, like you feel the pressure.
The nervous energy, yeah.
And like sometimes it's like, I don't think I'm fit enough, or I don't think you have them doubts.
The doubts.
But I didn't have nothing like that. And I was really confident and I felt fit. So like I said to Jack, I was like, I feel really good in this position. Like,
Sorry.
Go on.
Do you feel like because you had that rush to get there or whatever, you didn't have them hours sat around, might have helped a little bit? Not thinking about it too much, or? I
don't know, because the whole day, I don't really, like the whole day. It's just just a little bit before the fight I normally have it. Like I question my cardio and I question like, well, mostly it is my cardio. I just question that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I know my capabilities, and like, you get, for me anyway, like, you get comfortable with getting knocked out, or you get comfortable with, like, being bashed up. Like, I mean, you get comfortable with that way before, and it's just, now's the time, now's the point. So, like, am I actually ready? Like, I have that type of nerves. I do them type of butterflies. Like, have I done enough? Do you know what I mean? That's the only nerves I really have. I don't really have nerves about the fight or nothing. I mean, you already, once you get matched up and you see the guy, like, that's when I have the nerves. It's like I look at the guy and think, am I capable of taking this person apart? Like, and then so you get comfortable with everything way before the fight for me anyway. I don't know, what are you like, Dan?
Yeah, very similar. I'm quite like, I don't really get nervous, like the fight week and stuff like that. I don't wake up. This last fight, I was a little bit, I don't know what it was, I felt really nervous. Because with the UFC, obviously, say you're fighting, I don't know, at 8 o'clock, they don't actually like pick you up to take you to the venue till like 6. So it's not like they don't take everyone over at the beginning of the night. It's a case of like they stagger it. And I'm always pretty chill, but for some reason for this one, I was in the room on my own beforehand. And I could just feel myself, you know, like you said, working myself up. And I couldn't put my finger on what it was. It wasn't like a fear of losing. It wasn't a fear of getting knocked out. It was just, you know, when you got that nervous energy and you had to like take a couple of deep breaths, and I had to get up and have a walk about. I couldn't sit still. And my old man had gone for food with Carl, and he come into the room. And I like had to sit him down. And I was like, look, I'm fucking...
Was you on your own, Joe?
I was on my own for a little bit, yeah. I tried to have a sleep, and I woke up and I was nervous, and I was kind of had him come in the room, and I was like, I had to sit him down. I was like, right, run me through the game plan, and had him reinforce me a bit, you know. And it sat on my nerves. And then once I got on the bus to the venue, it was funny because usually that's when I get my nerves, is when I start having my hands wrapped, and the butterflies is a better way to put it than the nerves. But this way, it was kind of the opposite way around. I had that massive nervous energy and a massive dump in the hotel, and then we got on the bus, and the minute I got to the venue, that kind of just went away and I kind of zoned in, whereas usually I'm the other way around. I'm great all day and then I go a little bit quiet and have those nerves, like you said, right before you start questioning, have I trained hard enough? Am I going to be fit enough? What if this happens? What if that happens? But I think it's all normal for everyone. Like for people you and me and you say it, they probably, I think younger fighters or more novice fighters are of the assumption. And I used to watch like the champions walk out in the UFC and I'd be like, look at me, I ain't even nervous.
Cool as fuck.
And I'm thinking, and then you'll hear them say, no, I was shitting myself. So I think as a novice fighter, you're of the assumption of, when I get to that level, it's just like another day at the office. But I don't think it ever is.
No.
I mean, you could be the best in the world and fight the easiest guy in the world, and I think you'd still always know there's still that chance in it that you can get, like you said, hurt, bashed up. I don't think it's the fear of getting hurt either. I think it's the fear. It's the fear of the loss for me. It's not like I'm never worried about getting injured. I'm never worried about getting knocked out or having my arm broke. But it's that worry of after thinking, fucking, I've done all that work and I've come away with a loss.
That's what it is. I think that's what it is the effort you've put in and the amount of the hours, the amount of weeks you've worked yourself and for that moment, and you don't want to have, with you with that cut on your leg, you worked your bollocks off, trained, everything was right. Do you know what I mean? Diet in, everything was, and then to get fucked off for a little cut on your leg, it's like,
and that's the harsh reality of fighting is. Especially at the higher level, even for you now, when you're going to start fighting for belts and stuff, it's not like you're the only one working hard. Both guys are training. I know full well the guys I'm fighting are training like I am. You know full well the guys you are fighting are training like you are. Yeah. But the harsh reality of it is someone got to win and so there's going to be someone come away from the fight that has put the work in like we all do and are not going to have the result they necessarily deserve. And I think that's the underlying tone of all of us is that we know realistically it could be any day could be our day where we're going to come away feeling like fuck me now, I've got done by and I cut on the leg and you can get knocked out and still come away and think, well fuck, I trained like a machine with that for 8 weeks and that was my result,
if you go into the fight right with 3 rounds or whatever, right, or 5 rounds or whatever it is, right, both of you just slugging it out or doing whatever, grappling or whatever, and you go the full duration and you've worked your bollocks off and you come away with a loss, that's still satisfying because you've worked your ass off and you've done your best and you've lost.
I think you can be at more peace with it as well, can't you? I think what drives me to train, like you say, I know full well every fight you could lose, but I think if you come away and lost, I'd rather train like a Trojan and get knocked out in 30 seconds than hardly train, go 3 rounds, lose a decision. I think I'd be a lot worse coming away thinking I could have done more there. Whereas if you give it your all and you go there and you get put away or lose a decision, you can kind of be like, well, I couldn't have done no more. Everything I had control of.
That's what I was trying to explain.
I done. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, your first BKB fight before this one was a bit of a smaller venue. Obviously, this one was up at the Indigo in the O2, which is quite a big venue. They always sell it out. How did it feel? Because you fought on big MMA shows and stuff like that. You've had the big walkouts and all that. How did it feel to kind of be back in front of, the cameras? You had interviews before and after the fight. You had the crowd. I think they have the balcony. Yeah. You got it's quite a big venue, isn't it? So how did it feel to be back on a bit of a bigger stage in comparison to your first fight?
It was it was good. To be honest, right? Like you said, when you were younger and all that. As you do get a bit older, none of it really fazed me a little bit. It was just, it was good to be back in that type of environment. And I've always been since I was about 26, 27, I've always been it's not me going out there. It's weird feeling. When I was younger, when I was 18 to 25, I had to have an hate towards the person. I had a bit of an anger towards the person. So when I was fighting them, I'd look for something and I'd just try and target that. Not hate, but I'd want to try and hurt the person. Yeah. And I want to be I can't speak to him. Do you know what I mean? I need to get something on him to type of thing. And then after a while, you start getting comfortable with it. You go and speak to the guy, you know what I mean? Like we are by now, and then knowing that we're going to be fighting in the next hour or whatever, and you get used to that, and it ends so much of a rivalry. It's more of a sporting.
It's a blank face.
Yeah,
it's
when I'm walking out, You just don't feel like I'm doing it. Do you know what I mean? I'm just going along with whatever's happening and just you just letting it go. It's weird.
I always say I find the same as like a bit of a
dream,
out of body experience. Like people say, "Oh, what's it like to walk out?" I see it's almost as if I find you out your body watching yourself do it
exactly right,
until the bell ring, then poof, you're back present again. But I even think the warm up and stuff as well. I even find out with the warm up because your nerves and your adrenaline is going. I find like you said, you almost feel as if it's not you. You're just going along with it. You're watching yourself do it. Like, and
it's a weird feeling.
You can't really explain. You can't put it into words, you know.
No, and like unless you do it, it's a mad feeling.
And when you do it, you'll know.
Yeah.
Like when I heard you say that, then straight away I know exactly what you're trying to say, and I think other people are the same. When you've done it, you think, yeah, what he's saying, it resonates.
Because you can go out, right? See, you wouldn't go out in the street now and do half the things you were doing in there. Like, no fighting wise, I'm on about, like, I can remember before when I beat, that was his name? Jimmy Miller, remember that? Yeah. And I started firing a gun to everybody and stuff. Like, I wouldn't do that. Do you know what I mean? Normally. Yeah. And it's just like, before the fight, right? He came in because he wore a mask and shit like that. And he had like a little mascot with him doing all flips and stuff. And
have to pull out on YouTube and put it behind us as he's talking.
I started doing cartwheels and fucking like roly-polies and that, messing about. Your old man was like, fucking stop it. You know what I mean?
Having a dance off with a leprechaun.
I was having a little mess about with him. And like, but I thought it was like a short person. Like, I didn't know he was a kid. You know what I mean? So like, I was messing about and I with him because I thought he was just a short guy, but he was a kid. Right? Yeah. I do want to say that. So I started doing like cartwheels and roly-polies and all with him, right? Because I just thought, we're having a fuck about, like. And your old man was like, fuck, if you get injured, fucking stop it and that. Right? So like, I came back, but like I wouldn't do that. Do you know what I mean? Normally. No. So like, but it's just like you said, it don't feel like it's you were on. So like you're just doing all this shit in front of people and that, and like they are blank as well. There's like no one there really.
You don't take them into account, do you?
No. So like even after the fight, like I said, I was firing the gun at everyone because like what he was doing, he was sending me videos and stuff, right, of him bodybuilding and stuff, and I was like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like he was sending me pictures of him posing and stuff, and I was like, we're gonna be fighting, buddy. Like we're not flexing off. Do you know what I mean? And like I was like, I'm taking a chin for a walk. Do you know what I mean? But like, so after the fight, I was a bit like have a piece of that type of thing. So like I started like fucking fighting it again and all that.
I'm sure have he got into BKB now? I'm sure he has.
He just fought for a world title, mind, against
is he on BKFC?
Yeah.
He is, isn't he?
Yeah, what was his name? Just, from fucking Carlisle way, man. What was his name?
Danny Christie.
Yeah, he just fought Danny Christie, he did.
All right.
And,
no, you might get you might want the rematch down the
line. He took Danny Christie 5 rounds, I think. Like, he gave him
Did he win? No.
He didn't win, but like, he took him 5 rounds, like.
We got some mad stories on me from back in the day. It was a different time when they're like, you go to the shows now and they're so professionally run
so
and
legit,
there's all like the cameras and everything. I think if they had like, like now even like the Samurai show, there's guys out the back, you out the back, like filming behind the scenes. If they had that back in the day, it'd be fucking I do some views now. No, they wouldn't allow it.
It was funny, man.
Like King of the Streets, was it back then?
Oh, it was just bonkers, wasn't it?
It wasn't MMA though. It was the cage. They call it cage fighting and that. Yeah. It wasn't like.
I can't remember the one. Can you remember? I don't know if you was there. I think you might have been there when it was an amateur show. It was on a Mark Goddard show. It wasn't the one in the ring. They'd find that it was a different. It was like a race course, a Cheltenham race course maybe, and Beaumont fought. And,
it was
Beaumont fought. It was like his first fight, and like we were all in the change room again. And the change room at the time was like like the booths, like the booths at the football games, like the VIP. Yeah. It was one of them. And obviously, so in front of the booth and there's like the stand. And I remember like we was like getting changed, ready to go. I'm fucking
Walsall, it was, wasn't it?
Walsall, yeah. And about 5 of Beaumont's buddies are like on one, like proper on one. And you just did this fucking scaling the stands, and you're like, how the fuck have you got on the race course to be able to scale the stands and get into the changing room? Like, and that wasn't even that long, it was about 10 years ago. Like, No, it was a different time when it was at. It was bonkers. Something like the.
We'd rock up mine anyway, wouldn't we?
Anyway.
And like, it wasn't like, no, now it's like set up to the point where my boy is this and he needs to be like this weight and they need before, but we'd just be like,
you that weight, weight.
Yeah, we'd get on. I'd be like, I'd say to your dad, like, and I'd be like, who's it then, Shake? Everybody's the same, and I like, who's it? What does he do? Oh, you right, man, you'll knock him out, man. And I'd be like, you can't just say like, you know what I mean? I want, because there was no like YouTube videos.
There's no Instagram either back then, so it was like you'd be lucky if you could find them on Facebook. You may find like 1 or 2 videos on YouTube, but other than that, it wasn't Tapology at the time. It's Tapology now. It was MMA Universe.
That's right.
You might find a record on MMA Universe. You're like, oh fucking hell. You've had like 6 fights, but then you didn't know if they were no headshots, if they were like semi-pro.
I can remember speaking to Marshman before, and he was saying he was looking at this guy. He had his name, and he was looking at a white guy, or he's either a white or a black guy on YouTube, thinking, right, he's going to do this, he's going to do that. He turned up, it was the opposite.
Yeah, it's a black
guy.
Like,
that's all gone out the window now.
I mean, you don't know, because you don't know who it was. But like, that was better because, like we said with the nerves thing. Like, you could watch some absolute machine, like, do you know what I mean? And then you turn up, and then even him.
No.
Yeah. But, like, whereas now you got all this, like, following of everybody.
I think it can work the other way now.
Yeah.
I think you can look at somebody, like, I look at somebody on Instagram, and I think, oh, he's a beast. And then, like, you'll watch it, and like, there'll be, like, a 5-fight amateur. You think, God, he's fucking good for an amateur. And then you'll watch him fight.
Yeah.
And you think, oh, he's not actually, he's all right, but like, it's easy to look good in a 20-second clip on the pads, isn't it? Or like a bit of weightlifting, or a bit of a.
They're not putting the bad stuff on.
You can do a 3-minute sparring. No. You could film a 3-minute sparring. If you have a good 10 seconds, you can make a video out of that.
Yeah.
And also see them fight. So I think now it works the other way, where like, you often think, like the boys, you're like, oh, you've seen his Instagram, he's a beast. I was like, yeah, but you haven't seen him fight yet.
Yeah.
Like how do you know he's a beast? You haven't had an actual fight.
Yeah.
You haven't got punched in the face yet. I think back in the day, like you said, it was easier because they could be a beast, but it was almost like
the night, like
you don't know, so you don't have the fear. Whereas now, I think you can work yourself up to the point where you think these boys are monsters, and it's not always the case.
Bad, like.
But they got 100,000 followers on Instagram. I think, he must be fucking good. Like.
But some of them on dweebs, right? They got all these followers but it's for different reasons, isn't it? Not because they're an absolute tank, like. And then you got other boys in who haven't got that many followers who starching people left and centre. Like,
it's crazy, isn't it? Also got a big card this weekend now. It's the first merger show, is it? The BYB and BKB have like merged. So it's in the triangle ring. Yeah, triangle. And the rules change a little bit. You can clinch. You can tie clinch now, is it? Also, I know you can't knee and stuff.
I don't know the full like rules of it all because I've tried googling it and I can't get like a tidy answer on it.
Yeah,
but I think you're allowed to clinch
as long as you're working, isn't it? Yeah.
I don't. They call it dirty boxing, don't they? So I don't know how long you can do that for. I don't know like if you can fight in that position all the time, or if you can go for that position all the time. I don't know. I don't know.
How do you think that'll suit you a little bit better? Obviously, because you've got that little bit of clinch experience with the MMA and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it'll
make too much of a difference.
No, I don't think so. No, because like you can't clinch with both hands for a start. So once one of you got the one, both of you got the same.
You're gonna both be working. Yeah.
I would prefer the rules for the BKB. I would prefer them rules,
like the boxing rules,
normal boxing, but with no gloves. And
is it still a 20 count if they go down, or is it 10?
I don't think so. I think it's 10.
I think that's better, mate. I gotta be honest.
It's 3-minute rounds as well now.
Yeah, I think that's better. I watched some of the BKB shows years ago when like Sean and I was fighting, and boys will get like, if you get put down twice in a round, that's 40 seconds. And by the time you fuck about with it, hands walk to the side, you can kill like a minute.
Yeah,
a minute and a half of a round,
you can
and
stay
then you
on
get
your knees,
saved by the belt. Like imagine you're winning an entire fight and you get dropped with 2 minutes left. If you use your head and stay down, like if you've won every round, you can afford. I personally think that the 10-second, I think the 20-second rule just slows it down and delays it a little bit. Anyway, before we go on, the fight itself, obviously, last time, looked wicked. Obviously, you had the first round knockout. How did it feel being in? Because like you said, I know you had the BKB fight before, but this one, like you said, you trained like a machine for it, put the work in properly.
Everything into this one.
Boxing training as well, which before it was just kind of like just doing a bit of running and a bit of bag. It was this one you proper done a bot. How did it feel? Because also you looked awesome against a good level of fighter as well.
I felt a lot better. Do you know what I mean? In myself, I felt fit, like a lot fitter, stronger.
Yeah.
Technical wise, my boxing was a lot better. And like I said, it just showed in it, because the effort I put in, you only get back from what you put in, really. And like I did put a lot into it. And I haven't really took my fucking foot off the gas for it. Like I had like 3 days off, and I was straight back out. And I know my hand was broke from that fight, mind. And I just carried on doing what I could do outside of that. Like I just done a lot more running. I done, you know what I mean, things like my right hand, just constantly working my right hand. But it was only a couple of weeks ago now I've started using my left hand. And
I know, feeling good, obviously, back to normal. Yeah, you could see, when you watched it looked as good as the boy was. It looked as if it was just the way you was moving your head, and I think you was getting your jab going a lot, which not a lot of, you don't see a lot of that in BKB. Yeah. I think people just meet in the middle and bang, whereas you could see you was just setting him up, and it just looked like it was a matter of time before. And then that slip right hand was it your missus that made the clip, and it was like, you know, he comes forward. How do you plan on dealing with that? He's like, on a smash him straight in the face, and there's that picture just slipping out, boom, and nailing him. Yeah. Did you know once you put him down the first time? Do you know he was done for then? Because he looked, even though he got up, then he knew finish him. He looked
his
like
eyes were glass and everything. You know, I just thought he didn't have to go on, like, but obviously he did. Like I knew he was done there. Do you know what I mean? But like, you still got to go on. Like if the refs tells you to crack on, you still got to go on. And like I think he was just fighting out of
instinct.
Instinct. Yeah, just like as he stood him back up. I think he was waiting for the round to be over, like, because he did. I'm sure Jack said he was like, "How long have we got left?" Type of thing.
Again, I think going back like the 10-second rule, I think if I was been a 10-second, I don't even think he would have made the count, to be honest, because he was flat on his back when he.
Yeah, when he landed, he didn't put his hands on.
No, he just landed proper flat. Landed, didn't he? Yeah. But yeah, moving on to this weekend. How much you know about your opponent going into this one?
Well, he fought the guy I fought last.
Oh, right.
Yeah, but in all fairness to him, right, he took the fight on something like 3 hours' notice. I think one of his guys pulled out on the day, and they were like, "Oh, we haven't got no one to fight him now." Like, so like they rung him, and he turned up.
And he jumped in last minute,
and he put up a fight against him, like, but it was just literally coming down, having a fight, and
that so was
like,
it, like,
I didn't take nothing from her, because everybody was saying like, "Oh, he fought him last and he stopped him," but I watched another fight of him, man, where he trained for it and fought the guy, and he went the full 3 rounds, and he's a durable fighter, like.
He's experienced?
In boxing, he is.
In boxing.
He had a few boxing matches.
I know it's a different game because there's no gloves, but I think boxing experience obviously does factor into it a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah,
because it's minus the gloves, it's the same rules. If you can box, you can bare knuckle box, in my opinion. You know, for the most part, anyway. They are.
You can't hide behind the gloves.
Yeah, there are certain things you can't do, but in terms like offensively, you know, if you can move your end punch in a boxing, you can do it in there, can't you? Massive card, isn't it? It's their first one in Wales, I think. The first BKB show. Obviously, this BYB now is the name they're going under. So it's their first one in Wales, but I think it's probably, in my opinion, again, could be biased because it's a Welsh card, but I think it's, in terms of names, it's the most stacked out card I've ever seen them do. They've also had big names in the past, haven't they? They've had like Jimmy Sweeney headline shows and Sean George and Dan Chapman and stuff. But in terms of like top to bottom, usually there's a couple of fights in there where you think, I won't bother watching. But this one, it seems like every single fight, you got like Barry Jones, the main event, like you're on there, you got Dan Lurwell, Marshman, you got Martin. It's stacked top to bottom, eh? Dorian Darch is on there as well.
Johnny Jones.
Another big pro name from Wales back in the day as well. Aside from your fight, obviously, what one you most looking forward to? And aside from Jack and Martin as well.
That's what I mean. Like, not just saying it, but all of them, I want to watch them all.
Yeah.
Like, when the last fight I just had, right? Obviously, when I've done my fight, and then it was like an half-hour interval. So by the time I went back and got changed and all that, it was perfect time for me to come back out and watch the rest of the show. I think it was only some like 3 fights left anyway. And I watched them, but knowing everybody's in your year and like, so I couldn't really watch them. So me and the missus went back and we watched them in the house then. Do you know what I mean? Like to watch the whole show again. Because she got there late.
Because she missed the first half as well.
First half. So like by the time we watched what we had to watch, like live, we went back and watched it in the house. But this one, it'll probably be the similar thing again. I'd want to watch them all. Do you know what I mean? Like Dorian, I'd want to watch. Well, all of them. That's what I mean. I can't just pick names.
No,
I want to watch them all.
Isn't it?
How did the missus cope with the nerves? Because that's the first one she come to watch of yours.
Yeah, she normally has a drink and that. Do you know what I mean? But like, she can't now because she's pregnant. But,
she's going to settle the nerves.
I know. She'll probably have a pint she will like. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know. I can't remember really. You know, when I come out there, I think she had a pint. Do you know what I mean? Like, to try and calm her nerves. And like, I think it went straight to her head, man, because like when I come out, she was a bit like
flustered, yeah.
She was like, oh, well done and all that. Like, she was even shouting. She never shouts, you know what I mean?
No.
Like, if she went to watch it live, she likes watching it live. She always because like, don't know, fairness, right? She never like fighting or nothing. She never like watched it or nothing like that. And then we went to go and watch our BKB show before mine, just so to have a look at like how it all pans out and all that. So he gave us tickets to go and watch it, and she was like, oh, because the one guy, I think he got sparked out straight away, like the first or second fight it was, and he got sparked out, and she was like, oh, I don't know about this now. So like, this is, and I was like, I know, but see the guy who was running around, and I was like, that's going to be me. I ain't going to be the one on the floor. Don't worry about it. And then as it was going on, then like she would pick somebody before they would
got
fight.
A bit of interest in
it. So she got a bit of interest in it, and like she's like, oh, I want him to win. So like, you give her a bit of a thing, and they have an halftime show as well with singing and all that, so it gives everybody in the
How did she cope with Lola fights? Did she go and watch Lola fights? I bet that's a different. Like, it's one thing watching your partner fight. Imagine watching your kids fight.
Terrible.
Oh, I bet.
She's like, she'll try and record or give it to. When we first started watching Lola, like she'd record a bit of it, and when the phone would be going like this. So now she's getting
give it to someone else.
Yeah, we'll record it while we watch it, like, because it's you do get a bit carried away, don't it?
Does she get vocal when her daughter's fighting?
Not so much. She'll try and hide like a little bit, have a little look, and
especially like. Hard enough for your son with your boy fighting, I think, wasn't it? But especially your daughter, because
it is different.
You know, it's so common to be like, oh, it's your little girl, like like you don't want to see nothing, and then she's openly in there like trading bombs. It's got to be hard to watch. I bet it's hard for you to watch, let alone
for me. But to be honest with you, right, I'm like a psychopath. I'm like, she'll be there, we're doing whatever, and I'm just screaming stuff like that. You know what I mean, like, roll your head, move your head, slap, freeze and fall. Like, I'm just screaming at that. Where like Jade is like now and again looking,
having a little look,
hide her face, having a little look. I think she's getting more comfortable with it now. Like, how it's going on. I think Lola's on about 12 now.
You've had quite a few now,
yeah. For a girl, mind. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's hard to find girls.
That's hard to match, isn't it?
And at her age as well.
Yeah, so like for her to have like at least 12 now is quite good for her. Like,
and the season will start back up yet?
September now. And she's set up already to be fighting in 3 different cups now. Like,
so straight away, ball rolling straight away.
So you get a couple of fights in them who do, like, do you know what I mean? Like 2, definitely 2. So like each of them, and that's before Christmas. So she'll have at least 6 fights before Christmas now.
Oh, good. Have you noticed much of a difference? We was chatting before, since they obviously have been taken over by the BYB banner. It seems like they're ploughing a lot of promos. They had you all down there for like a bit of a media day, and seen obviously Martin doing like a bit of a stare off on him and his opponent on a video. They've released a video of you. Seems like they're pushing the media side of it. And like, they're pretty big online anyway, BKB, but obviously like you look at BKFC and stuff, and I think that's sort of they try and run that a little bit like the UFC in terms of you got like the countdown, you have the face off, and they do like the embeddeds and stuff like that. Looks like the BYB gonna go down that route as well. Have you noticed much of a difference?
I think as well. I think what they're gonna try and do now, I think they're gonna try and get like a ranking system as well. Yeah, and I think the BKB champs are gonna fight the BYB champs to solidify what
and
like
see who the champion is.
You don't want like, because I think with the BKB they had British champ and a world champ. I think for this one,
they need to do away with that, don't they? They need to do. It just needs to be one belt,
one champ, and that's it. At least you know where you're working.
You know where you are, then, because the BKFC kind of
they've just started doing that. They need to get rid of that. And European champs. Yeah.
They need, like you said,
it waters it down.
I don't mind them doing like a ranking system. So like the BKFC, if they done like you're top 10 in Britain, and then you're top 10 in the world, and then maybe number 1 in Britain would be ranked like 8 in the world.
European or something.
But you don't need to do multiple belts. It confuses it a bit, I think, doesn't it? It's
the same as anything. Like
I don't think the talent pool is big enough at the minute to do. It's different
like
in
normal
pro
boxing, isn't it?
In pro boxing is thousands of registered pros in the UK, and so you do your British title, which qualifies you for it. But I think with the BKFC at the minute, that BKFC, BYB, BK, they're all still quite relatively new, isn't it? So
like the UFC is really attractive because you haven't got that element. You've got the one belt, so
yeah,
it's so much more attractive.
You know where you're at. You know where you go, like same again when you go rankings and all that. Once you get into them 15, do you mean then you go to the 10s, then the 5s? Do you know what I mean? You know your standard's going to get a bit fucking harder and a bit.
Not just for you as well, but for the fans watching. You're like, who's he going to fight next? Because I don't have a clue where anyone is.
Yeah, he's number 5.
It was great for the fans. If say you get ranked at 10, like he's fighting number 8 next, that'll be a good match. 2 guys in the top 10 are fighting.
You know where you are.
Then you might have number 15 is fighting a guy who's unranked. Like, who's this guy then? This is his chance to kind of break.
Yeah.
Quickly before we call it in, prediction for the weekend. Knockout.
Definitely, but that's why I go for it anyway. I don't go for the knockout. It's just
the way you fight.
Yeah, the way I fight, the way I go forward. I try to put on a good show. Do you know what I mean, for everybody? And I say that I don't try and put on a show for everybody. I just like that type of fight. Do you know what I mean? 2 of us just letting it go. Like I say, I move my head, go forward, move my head, and that brings on that type of fight. Like when you go forward, if he backs off, I'm still going to pursue, and if he comes forward, then I'm going to.
You're going to meet him in the middle, yeah.
So like whatever way, like my style is quite exciting to watch.
It's going to force a fight.
It's going to
especially
force
a triangle, isn't it?
And that triangle,
it's going to make a big difference.
You can't really run in that fucking triangle, can you?
So I think any man, right? It's either me or him. And that does sound a bit stupid, but like. If a man is coming to fight the same type of style as me, then it is going to just be me or him going out, like, and that's the way I want it anyway. And like, if somebody's running, and like I say, I'm going to pursue. So like, whatever fight I'm going to be in from now on is going to be exciting to watch because, like I said, that triangle can't run away in it.
No.
And I'm going to stand there. I'm going to stand there with any man. Do you know what I mean? So like. Is going to be exciting from now on in this.
Absolutely,
very excited to see it.
Yeah, it's exciting anyway. Let alone about the triangle, like. But obviously, providing you will get a knockout, I'm sure. Fight again then for the end of the year. Fight twice for the end of the year. What's the plans then to round this year out?
Yeah, I've spoke to Jim about it, and like I wanted to go over to America to fight over there.
That'd be good.
And because they got a fight, I think it's September. They got a card. But like my last fight now, even though like I finished him, my arm broke. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like in the
Can't
fight.
predict it. Like.
You got to play it by ear.
Yeah, so like I could go in here now and like it could go again or whatever.
Yeah, and you got to decide how much time you need in between.
Yeah, so I think September. What are we in now?
August now, yeah.
So like it ends. I think it's 9 weeks between like each one.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's like. Depending on how it goes, I'll see how it goes now. You could go 3 rounds and not bust anything. Do you know what I mean? You go in there.
You go half a minute and bust your hand and get a spin. Yeah.
So like, I'm going to see how I am after the fight. And he did say something about there's one in Wolverhampton soon.
Yeah.
Or actually, it's up in Leeds now. So like, if I get matched up here, I think that was the plan off from him. Like my plan, I wanted to get straight into September over here. I can't remember where it was, but it's America. I wanted to go straight in for that one, but I think his plan was to get one more over here, and then next year then over there. Like, but whatever way I'm looking.
I think you'll keep putting them out, but they're gonna have to take you over. They'll bring someone over for you because I think, like you said, the way your style is, you're gonna end up chinning most people, and there's going to be a shortage of people over here. I think in the end it's going to want to jump in and fight you, so they're going to have to start bringing the Yanks over, I think, to be honest.
Either bring them over or me go over there.
Yeah, either or, innit? Yeah.
I'm up for whatever one. Like.
Be nice to go over there. It's just that fucking tax they nailed it with on the purse that that'd be a nightmare. But no, we can't wait. I'm going down. Thank you all for watching. Like, share, subscribe, follow Gachi, and if you do want to go and watch live, get in touch with one of the fighters or get in touch with Joe and he will send you one of the fighters' pages. Boom.